Oh, please, mister, won't you read my book? It took me years to write. Would you take a look? This is a story from 1964. It's called The Fifth Holy Man. I wrote this. The second day in the strawberry fields, those pastures of plenty, an angel of the Lord appeared before me about 10:48 in the morning. He came in the form of a field boss who told me for the third time to get my ass moving in the loving tongue, Spanish. Vámonos, pinche cabrón. I knew what that meant. Get your sorry ass moving, you white bread piece of shit. I'd been run out of the lemon groves down south for being much too slow, and strawberry picking was many times worse. We were in the Salinas Valley, in the shadow of Soledad State Penitentiary, Steinbeck country. Shit. Walking stooped in these furrows, one's feet stayed cocked at odd angles, carefully picking the red fruit and placing them in flats containing 16 individual green plastic baskets which would soon be sold at a premium in supermarkets across the great land and beyond. The rows were endless, running all the way to the coastal foothills. No shade. Need to take a leak? Don't get caught pissing on a strawberry plant. We'd been out here for almost 3 hours and I had made about $3. The day before, I'd netted $9.50 after buying some snack food and Target rolling tobacco in the company store. I still smoked then. The barracks looked like the set for Stalag 17. A grim scene indeed. I laid the flat down where I stood and started walking toward the highway. It was a long damn walk. I heard the boss yelling at me. I just flipped him the finger and kept on. The first thing I saw when I made it to the road was a warning sign. State prison area. Do not stop. Do not pick up hitchhikers. Great. I stuck out my thumb anyway and trudged northward. My girlfriend was still in San Francisco and we were on the outs, but I was pretty sure she'd take me back. A mile or so up the road there was an overpass and some welcoming shade. My lips were getting severely chapped and my eyes stunned from the chemicals in the fields. I saw a man sitting on a duffel bag. I recognized him from the camp and knew only that his name was Randall. This was early in '64 and the whole hippie thing hadn't really taken off yet. However, Randall had a look that stood out in a crowd. He wore one of those sleeveless, gaudy Mexican vests that sold for cheap down in Tijuana, only his looked like the real article. His well-traveled jeans were the loose-legged logger kind, held up with rainbow-colored suspenders. His shirt was a nondescript green flannel. On his exposed feet were the most basic big-toe loop sandals with tire tread soles. Long, reddish, dirty hair hung down over his collar, and he wore old, out-of-style, tortoiseshell horn-rimmed glasses. On his face was a Zapata mustache and an underlip growth now known as a soul patch. He topped it all off with a very wide-brimmed, dirty brown fedora, a very desirable accessory in this brutal climate. He was skinny and slight, and rather looked like the guy nobody paid much attention to back in high school, who had now become what he'd wanted to be all along, a guy on the road, a lonesome traveler. I liked him the first time I saw him, green as I was then. "Hey, brother," he said. "Looks like you figured out where it's at with the fucking strawberries, too." Yeah, I'm not built for that work, and that Mexican was getting on my nerves. Right on. When I get back to town, I'm doing a big expose in Spark the Progressive Worker Weekly about the whole rotten worker fucking agribusiness deal. You hungry? I snagged some beans and chorizo on the way out of camp. We greased down on the frijoles, flour tortillas, and sausage, and Randall shared his canteen of water. After the meal, he rolled a couple of joints. We sat back in the shadows watching all the cars go by, not really giving a shit. Finally, a farm truck pulled up and stopped. Randall stood up as he saw it approach. It was as if it were the ride we had scheduled ahead. No thumb, nothing. It took us into Watsonville, where we caught a bus back to mean old Frisco. Sure enough, my girlfriend took me back for a while. I got a shitty little coat and tie suck-ass gig down in the financial district. Randall went south for a while and came back full of strange tales of his shamanistic studies with some Yaqui Indians down in Mexico. One day he came over and laid out his fantastic latest vision, all of us in a mescaline haze listening to Blind Joe Death playing In Christ There Is No East Nor West over and over and over again. He started talking in that peculiar way of his, which always sounded like he was in the middle of holding a toke. As you know, man, I'm an ordained shaman in the Native American Church. Our sacrament is peyote. I'd lay some on you, but hanging on to the straight life like you're doing, you'd end up in a Tascadero and never get out, man. You just freak out. However, I'm starting a whole new thing, and I think you could dig it. It's called Holy Man Worldwide. What happens? We get subscribers, people who really know what's happening, to support their very own holy man. Guys personally checked out by me, so you know they're the real deal. For say $15 a month, your holy man will send you letters and odd objects found on his travels. For $25 a month, your holy man will send you samples of the local turn-on wherever he's at. For maybe $50 a month, your holy man will send you larger and better samples of this and that, and may come to visit you at your expense. For $100 a month, your holy man will visit you at his own expense and bring along fabulous people and drugs and things from the outer reaches of cosmic awareness. I see you and your old lady as just the kind of people to help me get this rolling. I got the guys all ready to go. You find us members to get the holy men out into the world, not having to worry about scuffling for sustenance. We get incorporated as a church, so we don't have to sweat getting hassled by the man. I've got four fully checked out guys ready to go right now. The fifth holy man to go out will be me, but only at the $100 level at a bare minimum, since I'm pretty much, the guru deva of this whole deal, the prime mover, as it were. There it is, man. What do you say? Rhoda, my girlfriend and future wife, was shooting me sidelong looks that actually burned the left side of my face. She loathed Randall, and even in our current buzzed out state could no way convince her then or later that this was in any sort of way a good plan. Well, it sounds like a thing that could possibly really fly, but let me and Rhoda think it over, and I'll let you know right away. Long sigh, lengthy silence, and then See, man, that's why you're you, and this is this, and, fuck it, pearls before swine. That's what we got here, you know, no offense. He got up, put on his hat, and walked on down the hall. Rhoda and I had a huge fight after he left. I thought the plan had a lot of merit. What she thought, you can probably guess. Thank you.